Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm gonna cover one of the most important things I consider when I'm building a website for a client. So if you're a designer, this is gonna help you a ton to really clarify the purpose of a website. And if you're just working on your own personal website and you wanna get some value from this video, this is the one thing I recommend to every single client who comes to me for a site audit or an SEO project. If this is not happening, I definitely recommend that they make this happen as soon as possible for their website. So here's the problem. What ends up happening when someone's building a website for the first time, or you're building a website off of client content that they sent over and they're doing this for maybe the first or second time, it's very important that you clarify where the site is going. Way back in the day, let's call it 2002, when you were building a website, it was just very informational. Today, websites are directional. And this is an underlining principle that is on every single website that you see that you absolutely love, that you buy from, yet isn't really talked about often with such clarity, okay? You want every part of your site to point in one singular direction. From there, when everything points to one singular direction, you could have transitional call to actions that lead to that main focus point, what we'll call the main call to action, but there shouldn't be any other directions. This gets hard when you talk about like a school website, a nonprofit website, even a church website. It gets a little confusing sometimes because the purpose of going to the site could be a few different things. If you have an e-commerce store, it's shop now. If you have a blog, it's sign up for the newsletter. Or if you have like a specific product you sell, it's like buy the product. If you have a sales page, it's book the consultation. Those are your main call to actions, and the entire website should point in that direction. Often for people building new sites or content that is new for them, they're building a site that goes to multiple directions. So one call to action is book a consultation. Another one is contact us, which they lead to two different spots. And then there's another one that's like learn more about this specific service. And then when you go to that service, the service says learn more about a separate service, and that service points you to another service, but it never points you to take that final call to action. You always want a period at the end of a sentence anytime you start writing a sentence. When you create a page, you want there to be a period at the end of the sentence. The best way to do this when you're creating sections on a page, this is very practical. The very last section, maybe a huge banner image behind it, or just maybe like a darker section that says contact us today with a button to contact, or whatever that call to action is. And then just repeat that through the site. Yes, you could repeat it through the site. Just because it shows up on one page doesn't mean the visitor has seen that page. You repeat the call to action throughout. And if you really want to dial this in, you have the main call to action in the top navigation, which I'm going to show you an example right now of what this looks like. And you have it throughout your site. So we're going to take a look at the one and only Squarespace website, their own personal website, and show you how they do it. So what does Squarespace want you to do? Well, they want you to get started. So you'll see up here in the top corner, it says get started, and that's with you everywhere you go. From there, the call to action right here says get started. A big note that, again, if you're brand new to designing websites or you're just building your site and you've never really done this before, big tip is that you'll see a get started right here and in the top corner. Some people are like, oh, it's in the top corner, people know. It's actually really important to point people in the direction, and then you give them free control to do whatever they want. So they can be like, no, I'm not ready yet. I want to scroll and learn more. Again, what ends up happening? Another button here that says get started. This section, create a website, super cool, all these different stores. Now this is what you would call a transitional call to action, explore all templates, and then again, browse website templates, e-commerce made easy, start selling. Again, it's a little bit different verbiage, but that leads you to the same spot getting started takes you. And that's okay. It's okay to be able to like adjust that a little bit, but they're all still pointing in the same exact direction. Then here again, transitional call to action for e-commerce specifically, explore commerce. All right, explore scheduling, browse membership sites. Now, market your business. Create email campaigns. Now this is kind of like different parts of the company, so they're just highlighting that. Try unfold, modern solutions, explore the blog, Great. Here are some websites that are on the platform that you could take a look at and then learn how to get started. They give you these 5 steps of getting started, or if you want to sell online, how to get started, or if you want to start a blog, how to get started. Again, all pointing to getting started. And then final call to action. This is the period at the end of the sentence. Start a free trial today. Get started. Now let's take a look at a few of their other pages. So if I go to products and I go to, let's say, for blogs, let's see how this one's structured. Again, get started. It is right here. Then they show you transitional call to action, browse templates. Here's some more content, but get started again. Transitional call to action, learn more. What do they have here? More content, testimonial, great, how to get started. And then down here, final section, start a free trial. Same exact call to action for getting started. It'll lead you to the same spot. This is so important and valuable. When you build a website for a client, you want to define that goal before you get started on even building the site, because if you're building a site and there's 5 goals, it gets really confusing really fast on where everything is leading. Every page you create, every section you create should lead somewhere specific. Everything is directional. Every word you write in some way, in some form, is directional, pointing you in a specific direction. Honestly, I wish I knew this tip sooner, and I would have thrived so much faster in my career as a designer if I was able to really dial this in sooner. Now, if you're working with like a school or a church, or there's just organizations that do have 3 to 4 different call to actions. For example, a church could be watch online, or donate, or could be, if it's your first time, signing up and like filling out a form. When they have multiple things, if it's a school, it's like a elementary school, middle school, or in a high school, all in one. Well, their sites are going to be a little bit different, and you're going to want to make sure that the site overall has a clear direction for all the content, and then the specific pages have their own main call to action. Again, I don't recommend that, and most sites shouldn't have that. If you have too many directions, you don't have a singular focus for the website. You want to define that as much as possible from the start so that it's a very clear step for me when I visit the site. The clarity on your site is what will keep me on the site. The confusion on the site is what will take me off of the site. Be clear, show me where you want me to go. I'm gonna see if you provide the value that I'm looking for by the content that you provide that supports that call to action. And that is how you build not just a beautiful website, but a website that engages people. Now, if this is your first time watching any of my content, first of all, nice to meet you. I'm David. With that, like the video, subscribe if you want more content like this. And most of all, we have a community that will help you thrive. Do not do this thing alone. You could learn and you could watch all these videos alone, but what I've learned the most is in community. So we have a community that's made just for you if you are a Squarespace designer, or if you're a small agency and you're just trying to step up your game. We have programs for you to really thrive in the next 3, 6, and 12 months. Also, I think we have the best community on the planet for Squarespace designers, the most encouraging and positive place to be. We don't sit there and just complain all day. I don't tolerate that at all. It's the most positive place to be. So if you want to be a part of it, join in down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.